Finally at the desk.
Look at that, you made it at the desk, right?
We usually play on these shows, and then we're looking at the host like, am I coming over? And they're like, no, you're leaving.
No, yeah. Now you actually have to say something. Do you think you might break into song at
I
any
definitely
point?
won't break into
song. Do you
song.
want that? Yeah, if you want me to drop a beat at any point, just give me the signal, okay?
Good.
Who will stand with us? That's a banger.
Yeah, it's a banger.
That's a banger, right? There are people... It's curious. Seeing that video is politically charged, the music is politically charged, but there's still people who are surprised sometimes to hear that. Is that embedded in what punk music is in general?
I thought so, apparently, until we started, getting a lot of hate mail that said, just play, don't talk politics, and I just scratched my head because the bands that inspired me and that I thought, during my growing up listening to punk and bands singing about whether it be Reagan or, the Queen or Thatcher, around the world standing up to speaking about governments and then even in the Bush era. And then now in a time that, in my opinion, is worse than all those situations, a lot of bands have gone quiet because they don't really want the negative attention. They don't want the backlash. They don't want the attacks. They don't want the cancel culture. But, this, to me, is like what, if you're a punk band, this should be your moment. This is when you should stand up.
Why do you think that is? Is it the fear of cancellation in this moment? I think you are right. You articulate that punk music in itself has been talking about fighting fascism for quite some time. Like, was that performative in essence? Is this the time where it should be happening, or is that no longer in vogue musically? Like, where do you see it when
I think back in the day, you didn't have this army of online trolls coming at you. You didn't have threats. But, as we've recently learned from Twitter, opening up where their accounts are from, people would say, the country's so divided, it's 50-50. You must hate that 50% of your fans hate you now. And I said, is it really 50% of our fans? No, I think it's, it's a lot of hype and it's a lot of loudmouths that seem like they're more than they are. So we feel like when we speak out, it's not necessarily I know we're not going to change anything on ourselves, but maybe we'll inspire another band to feel like, oh, we better do it too, because there's nothing to fear out there. If you're a band, you know what I mean, or anyone, whether it's a protest or whatever, stand up, speak up, don't be afraid to let your voice be heard.
What have you have a varied fan base and a dedicated fan base. What have some of those fans who are more conservative, who are MAGA supporters, what have they thought recently?
Yeah, we have a lot of fans that are, probably aren't as far left as we are, but know that since 1996, we have always had the same message, and it's always been workers' rights, social justice. We've always had the same message. So when you say, what are you talking about? I say, who's changed? A lot of these people were lockstep with our values and things that were important to us until that guy came down the escalator and started to divide everybody and feed everyone the lie to get, regular people, working people to fight amongst themselves so they could steal all the money out the back door. Everyone's so concerned about SNAP and everything else, but they don't mind a billionaire, making what it is. If anyone, you hear the term million and billion thrown around, like a billion is so much more than a million. And, people just making billions and billions in tax breaks while people fight over someone getting, $6 a day in food subsidies. It's maddening to me. And, I don't think my politics are radical. It's like, I get to travel around the world and I get to talk with friends that talk about their free health care. And I tell them how much I pay a month, and they what? It's just insanity. What's happened here is really insanity. It's like, we're the richest country in the world. Can we all just take it down a notch, come back together again, and just have a little empathy and help some people? And the
It's curious. Some people were introduced to Dropkick Murphys this year when that video went viral of sort of you interacting with a Trump supporter at one of your concerts. What a lot of people that I've talked to who maybe didn't know about the Dropkick Murphys before that were surprised to see a punk band, Boston-based, masculine, aggressive punk band that connects with young men be open and liberal with their politics. There's a larger conversation right now happening about masculinity in America and what those images of masculinity should be like and how the right tends to take those, or young people can find their way into rabbit holes that take them farther and farther right. Like, how do you see it as somebody who's like a strong, aggressive, liberal performer and your young fans who watch you?
You know what I don't find to be masculine at all? Someone who talks all the time about masculinity and tries so hard to be masculine. No, not you.
I was going to say.
You're purely natural.
I'm just trying to ask a question, Ken. That was just a question. Just trying here, man, okay?
But, you know, like Pete Hegseth, the whole thing, it's like, come on, man. You know, that's why it's like if you're trying too hard, why are you trying so hard? And we don't try so hard, but, you know, yeah, we are a punk band. We're all regular guys. We're not afraid to confront the situation. But I think what people like the most about the video you're talking about, because I've had some other videos go semi-viral where the interaction wasn't as friendly with someone in the crowd. But what people liked about that video is there was dialogue to it. These fans were in the front row, MAGA shirts on, clearly front row, and they had a blow-up of Donald Trump's head. So they wanted to be acknowledged. And I confronted them and made a bet, because Dropkick Murphys sells only made-in-America merchandise. We don't brag about it. I am on TV talking about it. But, considering we just go about our business and do it to support American workers. Meanwhile, the other group, every shirt they have is all about how patriotic and American they are, yet they get their merchandise cheaper from sweat labor in another country. So I made a bet, because I was pretty sure that his shirt was not going to be made in America, and I said, I'll trade you a Dropkick Murphy shirt and $100 if yours is made in America, and if it isn't, I'll just give you the shirt. And the guy was a good sport. He took off his shirt and he threw it up to me on stage, and he had a smile on his face doing it. And after I talked to him after the show, and this was a lesson for me, because I had assumptions about what he was like. By the way, this show was in Florida, so it wasn't like we were shooting. It wasn't like we were shooting fish in a barrel, and I went down afterwards, and he said, "Hey, man, I've been coming to see you for 20 years, and I consider you family, and I don't fight with family." And I was like, wow, that made me not necessarily want to judge a book by its cover all the time, you know. So it was, you know, there's some people that nowadays it could be just as little as like, who's the people you live around, what channel is put on in your house, and you just fed a narrative that's just ridiculous. And so I try my best to always think about that as I'm making fun of someone or whatever.
You and me both, my friend. You and me both.
Oh, hey. It's my daughter's 23rd birthday, Emma Casey, and I said, should I stay home or should I come do this? And she said, fire, go do the show. That's the kids say, fire.
Emma, you're fired. Happy birthday, Emma. Thank you for giving us your dad for just a minute for the people. It's available now. Ken Casey.